Greetings and welcome to New Dawn presentation number 20. I happened to watch a couple of very good presentations yesterday which I want to talk about a little bit more and sort of expand on. Firstly, listen to A Plain Truth 5 in one of Jamie's latest presentations. I will put the link in the comments, not in the description but in the comments, because I do want you to read other people's comments, because there's some wonderful ideas that are put out there. I do struggle at times to try and keep up with replying. I apologise for that. Some of them go into a spam folder. Thank you very much for that, YouTube, but we can recover them. The other one I want you to listen to is Quantum of Conscience channel, about social distancing and what it's really about. It is all about the magnetism and our electrical energy from our heart and how far we can generate that out. When it comes down to it, and I can only talk from personal experience with all of this, it's what are we and what are we here for? It's interesting, even looking around or sitting in this garden. I mean, yes, it looks wonderful. All of nature looks wonderful, and you can look at this in terms of a source that created everything, and I do mean everything, and there is beauty. You can put flowers of all colours together and they never clash. Try and do that with clothing, for example. Okay, subjective as to what you may personally think clashes in terms of colours. But then you've got this overlay. You've got this nature that is beautiful, and you have a system. You may, at some point during this video, hear an ambulance siren or a noisy exhaust, or all those sort of distraction noises that are the first sort of signs that things aren't right. Now, a lot of you have said you can't do this or you can't do that or teach me this. Well, it stands to reason we're all on different individual paths. I don't like to say level, because that implies some sort of hierarchy, and it's just different perceptions of the same thing, really. But seeing that everything is flipped in this reality, and also it seems that we should be cutting ties with this reality, you have to ask yourself, what is the point of it all? We're put into a system of schooling, and we are very much in this sort of the death throes of this Piscean age, and we are like a fish out of water. We don't adapt to the new surroundings. We do rapid sort of gasping for air and die. We don't change to this new experience. This is allegorical, obviously not literal or physical. But if we are created from this source, what if, well, this experience that we have here, maybe it's some sort of upload or download that we have no control over, that is beyond us, and what we are taking out of this are those experiences. If we are here to learn experiences, and that information is collectively going to a part of us that is outside of us collectively, this thing I refer to as source. What if that is also learning from experience? It comes down to that question of if we are students, observers and teachers, what are we teaching? Teaching ourselves, certainly. Teaching another part of us? This also comes to this question of as above, so below as well. If you think about it, the number 12 is often split on a 7-5, not an even 6-6. The 7 virgins that wasted their oil, their spiritual oil, for it come to mind, leaving 5. We've got 5 senses. We've got 7 chakras. Interestingly, the 7th one is outside the body, on top of the head, the crown or the corona chakra. That indicates it's a link to 6 more. As above, so below. So you've got a 6-6 there as well. You've also got the number 13 coming into this, the 12 and 1 making 13. This is a bit convoluted. But it seems to me we have source that created everything, and out of that source a part of it then created this, and then another part of it has put another overlay over the top of it. If you let's put this into sort of 3-dimensional terms, if you have something in large quantity and you come up with some method to either improve or renew the life of that thing, you're probably going to do a test on a small amount first. Well, perhaps this is this whole snow globe or terrarium, this enclosed system, is just one big school, and it's our experiences that are teaching source, or are teaching whatever has imposed this system in this reality. So whilst, yes, I do think we have to interact with this nature and go through this experience and try and break out of the system's version of it, I'm also looking at the source of it all with this. Once you've gone through the various levels of the truth seeking and looking at was, and this again is why I recommend these 2 videos, but there are many others. I've talked about the magnetics and every other aspect of it. Santos Bonacci, Mr. Astrotheology channel, Freak Sense TV immediately come to mind with this. John Levi has alluded to all of this, and so has Martin Liedtke. All the truth the channels, although they're looking at what was and in this reality, are also moving more towards looking at the spiritual and finding out what we are. And from personal experience, and I will keep sharing these experiences, it comes from creation in the mind. The end lines of The Wizard of Oz say it all. You go, there's no place like home. It implies about going within for all these answers. You've already done the biggest hurdle if you're listening to this and many other channels like this, because you've recognised that there is something very wrong with this system in this and with this reality. So you've already taken that first big step, because you've probably gone through the process as well of trying to, what is expressed as, waking people up. I would think the easiest way to look at this is to think, look, again, it's the etymology. Think of yourself as the Adam in a new world. You're creating your own universe, you're creating your own Garden of Eden. The root word of garden is to give. Just plant seeds with questions. I was asked to cut a hedge, and it's known as a cloud bush. So I pointed up to the sky and said, "What, you want them cut like those clouds?" And of course there's those long white streaks. And then I witnessed the system download of trying to make sense of that. with what the eyes are seeing and what the mind has been told by the media, and it goes into conflict. It's quite funny to watch, but just plant the seeds. And as Matt on Quantum of Conscience has put it, there are a lot that seem to be Golems and Schmeagles that are so far gone. So it comes down to where you throw those seeds. You plant those seeds of thought, whether they're going to fall on fallow ground or on fertile, healthy soil of the mind. Notice you've got soil, you've got oil, and the S, the serpent contained in the word soil within the mind. Big clues in all these words. It's amazing, real eye-opening, considering it's not even our language, it's imposed upon us. It still gives away huge clues on things. But yes, the mind and the thought manifestation and bringing it into reality. This is what this system is all trying to hide from us, that we are co-creators and we have awesome potential. It is, when you get to this stage, very much being like the child in the sweet shop, and you got to think and be careful what you wish for. It could be said that if you've got a source that has planned out everything and created everything, has even accommodated people who die in head-on collisions, in car accidents and things, and maybe that is a response to, at some point in their life, they've wished themselves dead, and that has been the response. Who am I to put a judgment on whether something is good or evil on that? It depends on the perspective you're seeing it from. But I would seriously use this time that we have, this lockdown, and lock yourself down within yourself. Do some real soul searching, and again, I'm going to have to quote Matt from Quantum of Conscience, because he's such an original thinker. You are not a soul. Sorry, you do not have a soul. You are a soul. You're in a physical avatar, just going through an experience. This is a short stop, but it's one that we can definitely worth. There's things to be learnt in this reality and experiences that go off somewhere. And what is this? I mean, what a scientific term, this junk DNA. It's within the human body. It's hardly junk. It's like any operating system on any electronic device, which is based on us. You can see that by the way a laptop will go through a shutdown procedure, in the same way that the human body goes through a shutdown procedure when the heart stops. It's not a pump, by the way, it's an inhibitor and a regulator. The life is in the cells themselves, so don't sell out your soul. Stay true to yourself. You have done the worst part already by recognising that there are things seriously wrong. The information is to be found. I can only share my personal experiences of things, the same as anybody else. That's the only thing we can be an authority on. But beyond that, I can't tell you what's real or what isn't real. Only you know in your universe what is real to you. But there's so much more I could say. But my mind's sort of all over the place at the moment. But I thought I'd just share those few thoughts, and those two videos, do please watch them on A Plain Truth 5 and Quantum of Conscience channel. Knowing yourself, while we're in this reality, then let's try and find out about this physical vessel that we're in and how it can actually benefit us more, rather than having it used against us. I think that is something that is worth doing, and I will offer possible answers whether you agree with them is entirely up to you. But I will say ta-ta for now.